In the quiet village of Nembo, people whispered when Adoma, the most beautiful girl in the village, walked by. Her skin shimmered like the river under the sun, and her smile could make even the hardest heart soften. She could have married any man she wanted, strong farmers, respected hunters, even traders from distant towns. But one day, Adoma did something that left the entire village stunned. She chose Chidi, the poorest man in Nembo. Chidi was a mystery. He lived in a crumbling mud hut at the edge of the village, wore the same patched clothes every day, and spent most of his time carving wooden animals. He rarely spoke to anyone, and when he did, it was soft and simple, as if he didn't want to disturb the air around him. People said he had no family, no land, and no future. Adoma's friends couldn't believe it. "Why, Adoma?" they asked, eyes wide with shock. "What does he have to offer you?" Adoma would just smile. "A kind heart," she replied. "And that is more precious than gold." But deep down, even Adoma couldn't explain her choice. There was something about Chidi that tugged at her soul, a quiet strength, a hidden light. It was as if he carried a secret, though she had no idea what it could be. The villagers laughed. "She'll regret it," they said, shaking their heads. Love doesn't fill an empty stomach. The day of their wedding was simple. Chidi didn't have money for a big feast, but he made Adoma a necklace of carved wooden beads that fit her perfectly. "It's beautiful," she said, running her fingers over the smooth wood. "It's nothing compared to you," Chidi said softly, his eyes shining. As they settled into married life, Adoma discovered that Chidi was as kind and hardworking as she'd imagined. But their life was hard. They ate simple meals of millet and wild greens, and sometimes, when the rains didn't come, they went to bed hungry. Still, Adoma never complained. But something about Chidi kept her curious. He never seemed worried, even when they had nothing. And every few weeks, he'd disappear into the forest for a day or two, returning with a small bundle he never opened in front of her. One evening, as they sat outside their hut under a blanket of stars, Adoma couldn't hold back her questions any longer. "Chidi," she began, "why did you marry me? You could have married someone simpler, someone who wouldn't have drawn so much attention." Chidi looked at her, his face serious. "Because you saw me," he said. "Not what people think I am. You saw me." Adoma felt her heart swell, but her curiosity only grew. "But what is it you're hiding?" she asked, half joking. "Why do you always go to the forest?" Chidi hesitated, then took her hand. "Come with me tomorrow," he said. "There's something you should see." The next morning, they walked deep into the forest, farther than Adoma had ever been. They reached a clearing, and there, hidden among the trees, was a small wooden house. It was beautifully built, with carvings decorating. Behind it was a field of yams and cassava, green and thriving. Adoma stared in shock. "What is this place?" Chidi smiled. "My real home." He opened the door, and Adoma's jaw dropped. Inside were piles of gold coins, bags of cowries, and shelves filled with beautiful jewelry and fabrics. "I was born into a wealthy family," Chidi explained. "But when my parents died, I realized wealth doesn't make people kind. I wanted to live among people who could see me for who I truly am, not what I have. That's why I came to Nembo and lived as a poor man. I wanted to find someone who loved me for me. And I found you." Tears filled Adoma's eyes. "You mean, all this time, you've been rich?" "Yes," Chidi said. "And now, everything I have is yours." From that day, their lives changed. Chidi and Adoma used his wealth to build schools, dig wells, and help the villagers. The people who once mocked Adoma now admired her wisdom and kindness. And through it all, Adoma stayed the same, loving Chidi not for his riches, but for the heart she had seen from the very beginning. In the end, the villagers learned an important lesson: true wealth is not in gold, but in the love that sees beyond it. For more stories, kindly like and subscribe.